if everything remains how people may think it remains just because of seeding purposes and strength of team and things like that, and they feel like Minnesota is better than whoever the 7th seed will be, and Minnesota wins, and the Niners win their first game, and it's at that point in the division round, it's 2 versus 3, right? Then you go to Minnesota at that point. So getting the 2 seed,
not worried about that.
I'm not worried. I'm also not worried about that either. But that being said, getting the 2 seed ensures that if that does happen, where both the 2 and 3 seeds win their respective games in the wild card round, you get that game here, right? And that's what we've been like pounding the table for this whole time, is that you don't have to travel then until a potential NFC championship game. And Lord knows what's going to happen with Philly, because they've been soaring high all season long and nobody's been able to touch them. They have not, and they looked a little bit shaky,
except for the Commanders.
They looked a little bit shaky, and now Jalen Hurts is out for at least one game, and we're going to see what happens with them. But again, if you position yourselves correctly here, then you allow yourselves the ability to be able to control a lot of what happens in the playoffs by virtue of just being at home. And there's only, at that point, if you're the 2 seed, there's only one team that you would be traveling for, and that would be a potential championship game to Philadelphia with the Eagles. Right. And that is probably the toughest matchup anyway. So again, super bummed that the stupid Colts couldn't hold a 33-point lead, which sounds ridiculous. Outrageous. And it took the largest comeback in NFL history for that to happen. But I will say this, Brian, that this sort of thing happens once every 30 years or so, right? The Frank Reich comeback was in 92.
Yeah,
and
literally 30 years ago.
It was 30 years ago. So that doesn't happen very often, right? And the last one was the
1960. So yeah, 32 years, right?
Right. So
it's a once every 30 year phenomenon.
Right. So you could, I'm glad that they got it out of the way during the regular season, because it's not going to happen in the playoffs.